Well, we have Josh here, Josh Kinser with SecureIt, and we remodeled this building this summer for the Eastmans headquarters. And part of that, obviously, we're a hunting company, and we have guns, and we have ammo, and we have stuff floating in and out of this building constantly. And so one of the things that I was worried about is, okay, we have a new building and an opportunity. We can put some cool stuff in here to keep our valuables, ammo, guns, whatever, in this building and make it be a showcase piece. And so I got a hold of Josh Kinser from SecureIt, which they make safes. And this is a unique company. It's not like you just put a safe in a corner and it's a showpiece. These are actually used by the U.S. military. Right. You guys do a ton of stuff with the Navy SEALs and the Delta Force and the Rangers and all that stuff. You outfit their armory rooms, right? So this is an opportunity for us to do, obviously not to that level, but to do some cool stuff with you guys' product here in our new building here in Powell, Wyoming. So Josh, let's talk a little bit about the history of SecureIt, and then we can talk about what's going to fit for what our needs are, because you guys' stuff is really modular. There is also this marketing misnomer about fire ratings and all that I want to get into. But let's talk a little bit about the history of SecureIt and why you're unique and why you're different.
So Tom got started creating, as Afghanistan and Iraq kind of got rolling, there was a big change in armament, right? I mean, I remember when I came in the military, we were still in fiberglass Humvees. As the wars kicked off, like these things started to change, and they found that they had an outdated system. So that's what Tom, and using like mainly this cradle grid along with other things, pieces to build the armory, all this system, you place the accessories on this cradle grid as you go through and store.
So you talk about accessories. What does accessories means? Because I know you have bins and you have things that attach to this. This is kind of like metal molly.
Right, and so this cradle grid is in all of our systems.
Okay.
With the exception of some of the smaller fast boxes, but it's even in some of them. But so it's interchangeable whether you want a gun wall to show off some of your really cool stuff in your gun room, or to keep it in here. So you've got stock bases that, if we're talking about a gun wall, that we can have them going vertical, make a nice line. But if we've got one that we really want to show off, we've got another accessory where you can lay it horizontal.
Oh, that's cool.
Same thing with pistols. I love our pistol racks.
Okay.
And so all those accessories are customizable to whatever you need. And if you want to add, if you need to add throughout, that customizing on the inside, and I think what makes us unique is the customizing on the inside combined with the modularity. So keeping everything straight line access, organized, and to where you can just pick, hey, there it is. Now we do have them, which I love, are the snap grips, where you can actually push them in.
Okay.
And that's going to lock it in there versus just staying.
These are all obviously security, so there's locks on them, which I love the big numbers, because when you're in a panic, I don't want to be trying to find, is that a 1 or a 7?
Yep.
Big numbers, 1 through 6, and fire rating. So let's talk about fire rating. Why is that? You said this to me one time, that fire rating is actually a marketing ploy by other safe companies. What do you mean by that?
Well, first of all, it's not regulated, right?
So there's not a standard.
Look, we want to protect ourselves from fire. Let's say safe company number 1, who's owned by Essential Oils. If y'all know who we're talking about.
Yep.
They used to be a great American company. They're the ones who talk about it a lot. So they brag about, hey, our safe, this safe can go 35 minutes at 1200 degrees. Aluminum starts to melt at 1,221 degrees, something like that. And people can sharpshoot me on this all you want, but molded plastic starts melting at 180. Wood starts burning at 150. So what's happening to the stuff in there while it gets to this 1,200 degree, this magical number?
Right.
Steel starts tempering at 500. Who in their right mind is going to see this place burn down and see this thing all charred up and go, I'm going to take my guns to the range? I mean, we've been doing military armories for years. They've never once asked about a fire rating.
Yeah.
Because they know if they get hit with a bomb, that stuff's gone.
Right.
And so all your springs, all your alloys, I mean, you're talking some of these alloys. Now, you guys have nicer rifles, but they still have springs. They're all gone.
Well, you start talking about carbon fiber barrels now that I don't know what that temperature is where that starts falling apart.
And if you cook with a green egg, the heat continues to rise. So if the fire got put out, you don't know how hot it got in here. And the idea, this fire rating idea is, well, we're going to put another stack of drywall in here. That's all it is.
Right.
It's just drywall. And there's a lot of corrosive pieces in the drywall that are going to mess with your guns. And you can look online and find, like, don't take my word for it. I mean, there's person after person after person. It's like, hey, I bought a fire rated safe, house burnt down, everything inside was torched.
Right.
But the bottom line is, like, is it really the worst thing in the world? Like, because if you just lost your house, you're talking about, you should have this on insurance. You should have it. It's used as a marketing ploy, and I'm a marketer. I get it. But it's not something that you need to base your entire world on, because everything's gonna be fried in it. This becomes an oven.
So the other thing that we talk about in safes is the security side of it, and it's obviously a fine line between being secure but being accessible quickly or being accessible at all. There's other companies that recently hit the national news that the security code, the magical PIN number, actually got given to a third party so that they could access that safe.
That takes work. That takes manpower. That takes to store those backdoor access codes. That takes manpower, time, effort, money. And when people are doing warranties on those safes, not only are those backdoor codes are associated with an address.
Right.
We don't believe in that at all, but I'm telling you, I can't make a Facebook post without somebody being like, do you guys store backdoor access codes? And then when you say no and you tell them that, they're like, oh, whatever, if the FBI came, the FBI can come all they want.
We don't have it.
We don't have them. And so this keypad, you have the option of doing like you said, these light up also. You can program to be a little bit brighter or a little bit less. If you don't want the green, you can turn it off. So you've got this as a keypad. Then if you're showing people your guns or your kids, you don't want them to see your code, you can use your thumbprint. And we have a manual key that if something happens, you hide this key somewhere.
Yeah, I love these. This is like old school jailhouse key. So I go put this somewhere, obviously don't leave it in it, but old school jailhouse key, go put it somewhere. If that battery dies or you forget it,
or you pass away and your wife needs to get in.
This key is sitting in your safe deposit box that gets into that safe.
And that way, that is our backup. A feature I forgot to talk about the keypad is there's a USB-C port on here, so if you did mess up and you didn't change the battery, you can get in there.
I was telling you, we get guns from all the different manufacturers to test. And so we have guns coming in and out of here constantly. And so having a place that we can put them in a secure place and not have to worry about if somebody throws a rock through that window, they're getting access to those weapons. Instead of, you'll see this in our office, there's 5 or 6 offices in here that have 2 or 3 guns sitting in them, rifles or pistols or shotguns sitting in there waiting to be tested, waiting to be taken to the range. It'd be nice to have it in one place, secure, don't have to worry about it.
I love our answer, the double doors, it's awesome. But then this guy, and you get people that are like, oh, it's lightweight, somebody's just gonna wheel it away. Well, if you're not bolting your safe to the ground and the wall, you're wrong.
Yes.
You're wrong.
Just
I don't care if it's this one.
Just leave it in the gun case on the floor at that point.
Yeah, it needs to be bolted. But this thing right here comes flat. The reason it's designed that way is that so we can ship it UPS and FedEx and non-freight. That it can show up to your front door, ship flat. My 8-year-old daughter put these together at the ranch. She couldn't hold the door. The door was too heavy for her.
I was going to say that when we got some of these in for a review, Brandon got online and he was watching videos, YouTube videos of other people putting them together, and there's guys like, oh, the instructions are horrible. These are really hard to put together. Brandon goes, I don't know who that dude is, but he is a moron. This is like, if you can turn a wrench, you can put these together. If you can read English, you can put these together. It's stupid simple.
And so now, whether it's put together or whatnot, we can get this upstairs. If you're living in an apartment, condo, most of them don't allow safes. Right. This one right here, you get right up those, no problem. The reason that we have it like that is so you don't have to pay those freight prices and the lift gate and the residential, and it can come standard UPS, FedEx.
Yeah. And the modularity. So let's talk about a little bit about modularity. You have the ability to put these on walls which we have this area that we are actually, I'm hoping to display some of the museum pieces, rifles, and other stuff that we have. We're going to use this stuff for camera equipment. We're going to put it on a wall and be able to use the modularity of it and hang tripods and hang camera stuff because it looks cool. It looks cool. Yeah, it looks cool and it's really, really useful.
And it's a lot simpler than you think. And I mean, we've got Brandon here who's going to show you like, hey, this is not that hard. And we've had a couple of gun writers and a couple of guys we've done this year, and they're like, God, I've always wanted to do it. It's such a big project. Like, no, call us. We'll actually do a rendering showing you give us what you want, how many guns you got, your space and your dimensions, and we'll give you a rendering of what.
So you say rendering, what is a rendering?
Basically a drawing up of what it would look like where it is, how many panels you need. So, if you tell us, hey, I've got 50 pistols I want to, if you've got a bunch of Wild Bill, or hey, I've got a whole bunch of ARs that I want to stack vertically. You'll be able to see what that's going to look like in your space in basically like just a rendering, a drawing.
You guys build these panels. What do you call these?
It's cradle grid,
okay.
and these are our gun wall panels.
Okay, so we're basically going to get 3, 4, probably 5 panels across, 2 panels high. But these are really interesting because you talked about modularity. You have all these different accessories that you can, everything from shelves to you can put rifles vertically, you can put rifles horizontally. You have trays that you can put accessories in, ammo in. You have displays for pistols, obviously. You also make some that it sounded like they would go like this. Is that right?
They would fit like this.
Oh, okay. So it's just this,
right?
Turned like that.
Mm-hmm. So you might have. Basically. We've got one that holds 11, one that holds single, and then one that holds 4.
Okay.
And so when I open up my safe, I've got all my pistols right there.
The neat thing that you guys do is we can send you the measurements, or you guys are going to take the measurements of this wall, and then Brandon on your team is going to go back and build us what it's going to look like, so we can visualize it. This is the other cool thing. So I didn't know this until yesterday. We were pulling this stuff apart. You guys' boxes, rather than it just be cardboard, you gave us range targets. And see. These guys are hunters. They're like, well, rather than just have a piece of cardboard, we should print something on it. Well, cool. Well, let's get into this, and we'll get your Brandon, and we'll do what it's going to look like, the drawing for what we're hoping for. And I appreciate you guys making the trek from Texas up here in New York. You guys are based out of New York. You're in Texas, but based out of New York and upstate New York. And we'll get into this and see what SecureIt looks like. So check out SecureItGunStorage.com and see what will work for your home, your hunting room, and your accessories.